situation, because today or tomorrow, the governor is going to come on air again to lie to Nigerians, to tell Nigerians that nothing is happening in the state.
Okay, one moment, please. Let me bring on security analyst Kabir Adamu, head of Beacon Security and Intelligence Limited. A fine morning to you, Mr. Adamu. Thank you very much for coming on.
Uncle Yori, good morning. Unfortunately, the circumstances of our conversation are not so pleasant.
Indeed, indeed.
And of course, my heart goes out to not just Benue State, but the generality of Nigerians in several other states who have the victims of the threat actors that we're going to discuss shortly.
Yeah. Okay, now skirting around it for the moment, because I understand a massive investigation has been ordered, and so let's wait on the result of these investigations. But there are already, speculations as to who has been responsible for what, and people have talked about the anti-grazing law being central to all of this. Clearly, it is not liked by the herders, and so apparently they've been able to abandon it as will. And the speaker we had before, you and my guest in studio, Honorable Philip Agbese, had said that this was a problem. People were carrying on the way they looked. The previous administration had tried to implement it, but the allegation is that this administration, had just let it fall where it would. What do you think how do we get to the root of this problem? Is it land grabbing? Is it herder-farmer clashes? And in the light of the president having ordered a thorough investigation and those responsible be apprehended, what do you think is going on from your own security overview?
So, Uncle Yori, if anyone who has just listened to my two other discussants, who are incidentally from Benue State, and
That's right.
For understandable reasons, quite emotional, and of course politically oriented, would understand the complexity in Benue State. Yesterday, I put out a statement on my LinkedIn page, and I know time would not allow me to go into all the details of the issues, but there are four components to the complex security situation in Benue. Number one is the environmental issue, of course, climate change and the consequences of climate change. Number two is political, and that worries me more than the first one. The fact that political leaders in Benue have turned security, or the lack of it, into a weapon to achieve their objectives. The two camps have emerged in APC, and just like we saw in the protest that happened 2 days ago, which was a power dynamic to demonstrate to the governor that they can achieve such, an effort, and in the process block the way, burned a trailer that was innocent, had nothing to do with the crisis. And as a country, we've kept quiet about that, even though the police have said they've arrested about 20 persons. So that's number two, that political dimension. Number three is the socioeconomic circumstances in Benue State. One is a state that, in spite of being the food basket of the country, the youth bulge is probably more obvious than any other state in the country at the moment, for the simple reason that industrialization is almost at zero. And politicians are not discussing that at the moment. They are busy accusing fingers at each other. Instead of focusing on an industrialization program that supports the value chain for all the food items that they have in the country. That's not what we're hearing. Number four is the existence of what I would call ethnic militias. And not just the herdsmen militia that we're discussing. There are thief militias, there are jukun militias, and of course the saddest part is the criminal gangs that also exist. Criminal gangs that are associated, sadly, with politicians. And this is very personal to me, Uncle Yori. In 2016, 2017, I did an intervention in Benue State, in the border area between Benue and Taraba. 3 of my staff were abducted and forcefully coerced into a militia that was then run by the late Ghana. Till date, those 3 persons have not come out. So nobody will tell me that militias don't exist. They do exist. They are sometimes incorporated by politicians, and so this is kind of the complex nature. Of course, the fifth one, which is very obvious to everyone, is the existence of the federal security agencies, the state-level security agencies. The last time I counted, there are about 4 state-level security agencies, and then, of course, the community-level security agencies. But in spite of their existence, we still see killings happening on a daily basis. So it is time to take a step back and demand for accountability from the federal, from the state, and to the community level. Because, again, it's very important that we take note of this. Even if it's ants that you gather up to 100, Uncle Yori, there will be a spot that you see a spot. But in this instance, over 100 people were killed. Not one of the perpetrators was arrested. Not a single evidence has emerged to show who the perpetrators are. Come on. And then I hear politicians discussing in the manner that they are discussing in your studio. No, we are better than this as a people, and we must demand for accountability. Let politics go to one side, and then let security stay where it is. Without security, our democracy is being threatened. And this is what politicians in Benue, politicians in Sokoto, in Kebbi, in Zamfara need to realize. The primary responsibility, as stated in Section 14, subsection 2 of our Constitution, is to provide security for the people. And if they are failing and now throwing blames against each other, we demand better as a people, and we need to see that. I have put forward in that LinkedIn post the various layers. There are 6 layers of public security that we need in Benue State. Number 1 is the ability to detect an element. Number 2 is the ability to deny them to kill people. Number 3 is the ability, even when they come to attack, if we can't deny them, let's delay them. And then it leads to the third one, response capabilities, and then our review capabilities, and then our recovery capabilities. Anything short of this, Uncle Yori, it's a failure. The only state at the moment in Nigeria that has achieved near that is Lagos, where you are. And that is why you are experiencing a semblance of peace within Lagos. Let the governor of Benue State, let the politicians who are trading blames among themselves take a trip to Lagos, sit with the governor, and study how he has been able to put in place these 6 layers that I've just mentioned. Otherwise, they can invite people like me and several others who understand public security to support them, put in place a system, a structure that is able to achieve these 6 layers that I've mentioned.
All right. Well, I just do want to thank you, Kabir. Security analyst Kabir Adamu, head of Beacon Security and Intelligence Limited. We understand that you have to be off to another engagement, but it was the importance of this subject that made you say, look, you will come in briefly. I want to thank you very much for that. Thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me.
Our pleasure. So to come back, you, from a professional security man's perspective, are there aspects of it, because